Snow fell softly over the city that night, the kind that made everything feel quieter than it really was. Streetlights glowed amber against empty roads. Storefronts were dressed in red and gold. Christmas music hummed faintly from speakers no one was standing near. It should have been peaceful. Inside the city's central operations building, it was anything but. At exactly 11:47 p.m., a junior systems analyst named Aaron Blake frowned at his monitor. One of the grid dashboards had frozen. Not lagged. Not slowed. Frozen. He tapped his keyboard once. Then again. Nothing. "You seeing this?" he asked the empty room, his voice echoing against glass walls and steel beams. Across the city, elevators stalled between floors. Traffic lights flickered from green to black. An ATM in Midtown spat out receipts that read transaction temporarily unavailable. At 11:49, the first hospital backup generator kicked on. At 11:51, the phone started ringing. By midnight, Christmas Eve had been cancelled. No power. No trains. No payment systems. No emergency override. The mayor's phone buzzed non-stop on her nightstand. The police commissioner was already dressed when he answered his third call. Utility executives logged into emergency video conferences from their living rooms, ties half knotted, faces pale. This wasn't a blackout. This was a lockout. On every major system across the city, a single message appeared, clean and untraceable. "Merry Christmas. You should have patched your systems." No signature. No demands. No countdown. Just silence. At the Cyber Response Center, analysts scrambled. Fingers flew across keyboards. Coffee spilled. Voices overlapped. "This isn't ransomware," someone said. "No data exfiltration either," another replied. "They're not stealing money," Aaron whispered, staring at the code. "They're just holding everything." The room went quiet. "Who would do this?" a supervisor asked. No one answered. Because whoever it was hadn't touched personal accounts. Hadn't drained banks. Hadn't wiped servers. They'd gone higher. They'd locked the systems that ran the systems. By 12:18 a.m., the city issued its first emergency alert. Temporary infrastructure failure. Please remain calm. No one remained calm. Parents sat in dark apartments holding crying children. Elderly residents wrapped themselves in blankets as heaters died. Shoppers stood helpless in grocery stores with full carts and useless carts. And somewhere, unseen, someone was watching all of it unfold. In a small apartment miles away, a laptop sat open on a kitchen table. The room was dim, lit only by the glow of cascading code and a small artificial Christmas tree in the corner. The person at the table didn't smile. Didn't panic. They checked the time. 12:23 a.m. Right on schedule. Their phone buzzed once. A message from an unknown number. "They've noticed." The reply came instantly. "They always do. They just never listen." Back at City Hall, the emergency council convened. Power company executives swore their systems were secure. Transit officials blamed legacy software. Someone suggested it might be foreign interference. Then the screens changed again. A live feed appeared on every monitor in the room. No face. No voice. Just text, appearing line by line. This city ignored warnings. Ignored audits. Ignored breaches that never made the news. The room froze. Tonight isn't about money. It's about attention. The mayor stood slowly. "Can you restore power?" she asked the screen, her voice steady but tight. There was a pause. Then the final line appeared. "Yes. But first, I need you to answer one question." Across the city, the snow kept falling. Candles burned low. Phones died. And families waited in the dark. The cursor blinked once on the screen. Do you want the truth? Or do you want Christmas back? The room fell silent. And before anyone could respond, every screen went black. The darkness didn't lift right away. For several seconds after the screens went black, no one in the emergency council room spoke. The hum of backup generators was the only sound left, low and uneven, like the city itself was breathing through clenched teeth. Then the mayor exhaled. "Bring it back," she said sharply. "Every system. Now." Technicians rushed forward, rebooting terminals, cycling power, rerouting feeds. One by one, the screens flickered to life, but the message was gone. No hacker. No question. No explanation. Just silence. Outside, the city stayed frozen. Hospitals were running on reserves. Traffic had devolved into chaos. Police radios crackled with calls they couldn't answer fast enough. Somewhere across town, a woman sat in a dark apartment counting insulin doses, wondering how long the fridge would stay cold. And still, no demands came. That's what unsettled them most. At the Cyber Response Center, Aaron hadn't moved from his terminal. His eyes burned, fingers hovering just above the keyboard. "This isn't brute force," he said finally. "It's surgical." They knew exactly where to hit. His supervisor frowned. "You're saying this was inside knowledge?" Aaron nodded slowly. "Or someone who studied us longer than we studied ourselves." By 1:06 a.m., federal agencies were looped in. Analysts from 3 states joined the call. Acronyms flew. Jurisdiction was argued. Responsibility was deflected. But the system stayed locked. Then, at 1:14, a new signal appeared. Not on city servers. On personal devices. Phones buzzed across the city at once. A push notification from an unknown source. No app. No link. Just text. "You weren't listening. So I made you stop." Panic spread faster than the outage. News stations cut into holiday programming. Helicopters hovered over darkened neighborhoods. Social media exploded with speculation, fear, and anger. Some called it terrorism. Others called it justice. At City Hall, the mayor's voice shook just slightly as she spoke again. "What do they want?" No one answered. Because in another part of the city, in that dim apartment with the glowing laptop, the hacker was watching the broadcast in silence. Their screen displayed something different. Archived reports. Ignored emails. Redacted audits. A digital paper trail no one had ever connected. They scrolled slowly, deliberately. 5 years earlier, a vulnerability report had been filed. Labeled non-critical. 3 years earlier, a breach had occurred. Quietly settled. No press. Last year, funding for system upgrades had been approved, then redirected. The hacker didn't look angry. They looked tired. At 1:27 a.m., power briefly surged in one district, then dropped again. A warning. Back at the Cyber Response Center, Aaron's screen flashed. "I think I found something," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. "What?" his supervisor demanded. "A backdoor. Not theirs. Ours. Something that was never closed." The room leaned in. "They didn't break in," Aaron continued. "They walked through a door we left open." The implication landed hard. This wasn't an external attack. This was exposure. At 1:41 a.m., the hacker sent another message. This time, it appeared on every news broadcast simultaneously. "I'm not your enemy. I'm the consequence." The mayor slammed her hand on the table. "Can we talk to them?" A technician swallowed. I think they're already listening." As if on cue, a new window opened on the main screen. A secure text channel. No video. No audio. Just a blinking cursor. The mayor stepped forward. "This city is suffering," she typed. "People could die. End this." The reply came slower this time. "People already did. Just not tonight." The room went still. They died when safety reports were buried. When budgets mattered more than systems. When warnings were ignored because silence was cheaper. Aaron felt his stomach drop. "This isn't random," he whispered. "They're targeting leadership." Another message followed. "You want Christmas back. I want the truth released. Unedited. Unburied." The mayor hesitated. "What truth?" someone asked aloud. Before she could answer, every screen in the room changed again. Documents appeared. Internal emails. Signed approvals. Names. Some belonged to people still sitting at the table. Gasps filled the room. One official stood abruptly, face pale. "This is classified," he said. "They can't." "They already did," the screen replied. Outside, power surged again, this time longer. Lights flickered on in one neighborhood. Cheers echoed faintly through the cold. The hacker was testing them. The mayor's fingers hovered over the keyboard. "If we release this," she typed slowly, "the fallout will be massive." The cursor blinked. So was the negligence. Silence stretched. Finally, she typed one last question. "Who are you?" The reply didn't come immediately. Seconds passed. Then. "Someone you ignored. Someone you laid off. Someone who tried to warn you." Aaron's breath caught. Because on his screen, among the leaked files, he recognized a name. A former systems architect. Terminated 2 years earlier. Reason, budget restructuring. At that exact moment, every clock in the city ticked to 2 a.m. And the hacker sent one final message. "You have until sunrise. Choose transparency. Or choose darkness." The connection dropped. Across the city, half the lights came back on. Just enough to remind everyone what was still missing. And as dawn crept closer, the city realized the blackout was no longer the biggest threat. The truth was. Dawn came slowly, like the city was afraid to wake up. Streetlights flickered off one by one as weak sunlight pushed through the clouds. Some neighborhoods had power. Others were still dark. Trains remained stalled. Payment systems worked in fragments. The city was breathing again, but unevenly. Inside City Hall, no one had slept. Coffee cups littered the tables. Jackets were draped over chairs. Faces looked older than they had the night before. The mayor stared at the documents projected on the screen. Names. Signatures. Decisions that had been made quietly, and now refused to stay buried. "This can't go public," one council member said, his voice cracking. "It'll destroy careers. Lawsuits. Trust." "And if we don't?" the mayor asked. No one answered. Across the room, a legal advisor cleared her throat. "If this information is released without context, it will look like intentional negligence." Aaron sat frozen at his terminal, eyes fixed on one name in particular. Elliot Crane. Former senior systems architect. Lead author of the ignored safety report. Laid off during budget realignment. He pulled up the personnel file. Then froze again. Cause of termination, insubordination. His stomach tightened. At 6:12 a.m., the hacker sent another message. Not to the city. To Aaron. His personal device buzzed softly in his pocket. "You found my name." Aaron's hands trembled as he typed back. "Are you Elliot Crane?" 3 dots appeared. Then. I used to be. Aaron swallowed hard. You're risking lives, he typed. Hospitals are still unstable. The reply came almost instantly. I stabilized what I could. They left the rest fragile long before I touched it. Aaron leaned back, heart pounding. What do you want now? A pause. Longer than before. I want someone inside the system to listen. Not spin. Not deny. Listen. Aaron looked up. Across the room, officials were already drafting statements, carefully worded, legally sanitized. We'll release a summary, someone said. Selective transparency. Aaron felt a cold realization settle in. They were about to lie again. His phone buzzed. They're doing it again, aren't they? Aaron didn't respond right away. At 7:03 a.m., the mayor stepped in front of the cameras. Her voice was steady, reassuring. She spoke of unexpected infrastructure failure, of legacy systems, of swift corrective action. She did not mention ignored warnings. She did not mention Elliot Crane. Across the city, the hacker watched the broadcast in silence. Then they exhaled slowly. So be it. At 7:15 a.m., every screen in City Hall froze again. But this time, it wasn't just city systems. Private corporations. News stations. Financial networks. A cascade. Panic erupted. What did you do? The mayor shouted. Aaron was already typing furiously. They're not shutting things down, he said. They're opening something. Files began to appear online. Unredacted. Emails leaked to journalists. Internal memos posted publicly. Audio recordings from closed-door meetings. The truth spilled out faster than anyone could stop it. And then something unexpected happened. The hacker paused. A message appeared on Aaron's screen. This is where I stop. What happens next is on you. Aaron's chest tightened. You could finish this, he typed. Bring everything down. Destruction is easy, the reply came. Accountability is harder. The connection went quiet. Outside, sirens wailed, not for outages, but for protests. People gathered in the streets. Phones held high. Anger no longer confused, just focused. By midday, resignations began. One executive. Then another. By afternoon, the mayor sat alone in her office, staring at a city she no longer controlled. And somewhere else, Elliot Crane packed up his laptop. Not running. Not hiding. Waiting. At 6:40 p.m., Aaron received one last message. They'll look for a villain. If they find me, the story ends. If they don't, it might actually change something. Aaron stared at the screen, his hands shaking. He realized then what Elliot was asking. Not for protection. For a choice. The city lights flickered, this time, steadily. Power was almost fully restored. But the damage was done. Truth was loose now. And as night fell again, federal agents quietly arrived at City Hall. Not for the hacker. For someone else. Aaron watched as a familiar official was escorted out in handcuffs. His phone buzzed one final time. Tomorrow, they'll ask who helped me. What will you say? Aaron didn't answer. Because for the first time since the blackout began, he understood. The heist had never been about power. It was about who would tell the truth when it mattered most. And in the morning, he'd have to decide whether to expose the final piece. Or become part of the cover-up himself. Morning came without ceremony. The city was fully lit again. Trains moved. Cards swiped. Coffee brewed. On the surface, everything worked. But nothing felt the same. Headlines filled every screen. Officials resign after leaks. City admits systemic failures. Who is the Christmas hacker? At the Cyber Response Center, Aaron sat alone at his terminal. The chaos of the night before had faded into paperwork and silence. The systems were stable. The crisis, technically, was over. But the question Elliot had left him with hadn't gone anywhere. At 9:17 a.m., federal investigators returned. They asked careful questions. Who noticed the anomaly first? Who had access? Who communicated with the attacker? Aaron answered honestly, mostly. He spoke about the vulnerability. About the ignored reports. About the lies. He did not mention the private messages. Not the ones that mattered. By noon, Elliot Crane's name was everywhere. Former engineer. Disgruntled employee. Lone actor. A narrative, clean and convenient. At City Hall, officials framed it as a lesson learned. New funding was approved. Committees were formed. Promises were made publicly and cautiously. Behind closed doors, deals were struck. Not everyone named in the leaks was held accountable. Some resigned quietly. Others stayed, reshaped by PR teams and legal buffers. The truth came out, but only the parts people could survive. That afternoon, Aaron received an untraceable email. No subject. No greeting. Just a single line. You chose silence. I understand. Aaron stared at the screen. Had he? Or had he just delayed the truth again? He typed a reply, then deleted it. Outside the building, the city moved on. Christmas lights were still up. Families returned gifts. Children laughed. The blackout became a story people told with disbelief and relief. Can you imagine, they said. Glad that's over. But for some, it wasn't. In a quiet apartment miles away, Elliot watched the same headlines. He packed light. No disguises. No rush. He'd already lost what mattered years ago. As he stepped outside, snow drifted down gently, settling on his coat. The city didn't recognize him. Didn't thank him. Didn't curse him. That was fine. Change was never loud at first. That evening, the mayor addressed the city one last time before the holidays ended. She spoke of resilience. Of moving forward. Of rebuilding trust. Her words were careful. Measured. Incomplete. At the Cyber Response Center, Aaron shut down his terminal and stood up. As he walked toward the exit, he paused. On his screen, one final system alert blinked. A vulnerability report. New. Unresolved. He hesitated. Then he forwarded it to the Public Oversight Board, to journalists, to places where silence was harder. Outside, the city glowed under fresh snow. Some systems were safer now. Some truths had surfaced. Others remained buried. And somewhere in the space between justice and consequence, the city learned an uncomfortable lesson. The hacker didn't steal Christmas. He revealed what had already been missing. And whether that made him a villain, a warning, or something else entirely, was a question the city would be arguing about for a long time.
If you enjoyed this story and want to see more mysterious, emotional, and thought-provoking tales, don't forget to like, share, and comment below. Your engagement helps us keep creating powerful stories that question the line between humanity and technology. Let us know which twist shocked you the most. Subscribe not to miss the next part. Until next time, stay curious, stay unseen.